Document Part 1. The False Handshake. Wadi 400 words. Third person, simple and basic English. The stars did not blink. The space station hung silent above Earth, turning slow like a toy in a child's hand. Outside its thick glass windows, blue and white swirls of the planet rolled past, peaceful, quiet, unaware. Inside, the air felt heavy, not with heat or smell, but with something worse, the quiet before the storm. Ambassador Jiho stood near the center of the main hall. He wore a plain gray suit, no medals, no flags, just a small silver pin on his lapel. Earth symbol, a circle with a dot in the middle. He smiled, not a big smile, not a fake one either, just enough to show he was calm. His hands were behind his back. His eyes watched everything. Across from him, 10 steps away, stood High Overseer Vorthax of the Vrakan Dominion. Tall, covered in dark armor that clicked when he moved. His face was hidden behind a smooth black mask with glowing red lines. He didn't smile. He didn't need to. Everyone knew what the Vrakan were. Everyone remembered the war. The burned cities, the broken ships, the millions lost. Behind Jiho, 4 humans stood in a line. 2 men, 2 women, all in simple suits like his. All quiet, all watching. One of them, a young woman named Mina, had her eyes locked on the Vrakan's wrist device. It was small, black, looked like a watch, but Mina knew better. She had studied every piece of Vrakan tech for 5 years. That device wasn't for telling time. It was for sending silent signals. She leaned slightly toward Jiho, not enough to be rude, just enough to whisper. "They're lying," she said, so soft only he could hear. Jiho didn't turn, didn't nod, just kept smiling, but his fingers hidden behind his back tapped once. Got it, cameras floated around them, tiny silver balls with red lights, recording everything. Broadcasting to every planet, every ship, every screen in known space. Historic peace signing, the headlines called it. The end of the war. A new dawn for the galaxy, but Mina knew better. So did Jiho. So did every human in that room, because peace doesn't come with hidden guns. 3 hours earlier, inside a small side room, Jiho had looked at Mina and asked, "What's wrong?" She had handed him a tablet. On it, a graph. Lines going up and down, numbers blinking. "Look at their ship movements," she said. "They say they pulled back their warships, but 3 dreadnoughts are still in high orbit, hidden behind the moon's shadow. Engines warm. Weapons charged." Jiho studied the screen. Then he looked up. "And their comms?" Mina tapped again. A new screen. "They're using encrypted bursts. Less than half a second each. Too fast for normal talk, only used for battle commands." Jiho closed the tablet. "They're setting a trap," Mina nodded. "Yes, they want us to sign. Lower our guard, then they take us out, maybe kill us here, maybe attack Earth right after." Jiho walked to the window, looked down at Earth, at the oceans, the green lands, the tiny lights of cities waking up. "Then we let them think they're winning," he said. Now, back in the main hall, music started to play. Soft, calm, like wind through trees. A human composer wrote it, called it Song for Tomorrow. The Vrakan didn't care about music, but they let it play. For the cameras, a tall alien in purple robes, the neutral arbiter, stepped forward. He cleared his throat. "Today," he said, voice echoing, "we witness the end of 23 years of war. The Vrakan Dominion and the Terran Alliance will sign the Galactic Peace Accord. Let this be the first day of lasting peace." Everyone clapped. Not loudly, not happily, just politely. Vorthax stepped forward. So did Jiho. They met in the middle. Vorthax held out his hand. 3 long fingers, cold. Metal-tipped, Jiho took it. The cameras zoomed in. The galaxy held its breath. The handshake lasted 3 seconds. Then they let go. Vorthax turned slightly. His wrist device blinked once. Red Mina saw it. She didn't move, didn't shout. Just pressed her thumb against the side of her own wristband. One soft click. Somewhere far away, deep inside Earth's defense grid, a silent signal woke up. Protocol White Crane. Activated. The signing table was white, round, no sharp edges. Supposedly to show equality. On it sat 2 copies of the treaty. Thick books, gold edges. Fancy words. Jiho picked up the human copy. Flipped through it slowly, nodded, smiled again. Vorthax did the same, faster, less care, they signed. Pen on paper. Ink drying fast. The arbiter clapped again. It is done. The treaty is sealed. More polite clapping, then of the gong, a deep, heavy sound. Like a giant bell underwater. Tradition, meant to mark the moment peace began. But as the sound faded, the lights flickered just for a second. Then the gravity changed, not a lot. Just enough to make everyone stumble. Vorthax turned fast. What is this? His wrist device blinked again. Red. 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 Nothing happened. His soldiers, hidden behind wall panels, didn't appear. His ships, waiting behind the moon, didn't fire. Because Sora, back on Earth, had already broken into their network. And Taehyuk had already rerouted their power. The trap was set, but humanity had reset the board. Captain Dohyun stood near the back of the room. He looked like a clerk, glasses, thin tie, holding a tablet. But under his jacket, armor, and under that, a pulse pistol, set to stun. For now, he watched the Vraken guards, 6 of them, standing too straight, hands too close to their belts, waiting for the signal. The signal never came. Instead, the room's lights turned blue. A calm voice, Sora's voice, came over the speakers. Attention Helios Prime. Minor system adjustment. Please remain calm. The Vraken didn't remain calm. Vorthax turned to Jiho. What did you do? Jiho smiled. Bigger this time. Nothing, he said. We signed the treaty. We followed every rule. You're the ones who brought hidden weapons. Hidden soldiers. Hidden plans. He stepped closer, lowered his voice. We knew. Vorthax froze. You knew? Jiho nodded. We've known for weeks. Maybe months. You're not the only ones who can spy. Behind them, the wall panels slid open, but not for Vraken soldiers. Human Marines stepped out, 12 of them. In gray armor, helmets down, weapons raised but not firing. Captain Dohyun took off his glasses. Drop your weapons, he said. Now. The Vraken guards looked at Vorthax. He didn't say anything. One guard reached for his gun. A pulse round hit his chest. He dropped. Not dead, just sleeping. The others froze. Dohyun looked at Vorthax. Next one won't be set to stun. Outside in space, the human fleet moved. Quietly. No engines flaring. No comms shouting. Just slow, careful shifts. The Vraken ships behind the moon sent a signal. Initiate glass protocol. Target, Earth cities. The signal reached Earth's defense net and vanished. Sora had been waiting. She didn't block it. She answered it with a fake confirmation. Protocol accepted. Firing in T-minus 60 seconds. The Vraken ships began their countdown. 60. 59. 58. They never reached 0, because Taehyuk's stealth. Drives turned on. Every human warship, even the ones powered down for treaty inspection, blinked out of sight, then blinked. Back right behind the Vraken fleet, Admiral Yejin, aboard the UNS Dauntless, gave the order. Send the pulse. A wave of silent energy rolled through space. Not a bomb, not a laser, just a whisper. But to Vraken ships, it was a scream. Their shields flickered. Their weapons locked. Their engines stuttered. On the bridge of the lead Vraken dreadnought, the commander shouted, "What's happening?" His officer pointed at the screen. They're everywhere. How? The answer was simple. Humanity didn't trust peace, so they prepared for war. Back in the hall, Vorthax stared at Jiho. You planned this. Jiho shook his head. No, we planned for you. We didn't want this. We offered real peace. You chose to lie, to cheat, to kill. He turned to the cameras. Still rolling. Still broadcasting. To every world watching, this is not our war. This is their trap. And we walked into it. With our eyes open, Mina stepped forward, held up her tablet. On it, a video. Vorthax's own voice. Once they sign, we take the station. Kill the leaders. Then burn their cities. Let the humans learn what true power is. The video played. Clear, cold, cruel. Gasps filled the room. Even the arbiter stepped back. Vorthax's mask hid his face, but his body shook. You recorded that? Mina nodded. While you thought we were sleeping, we were listening. The treaty lay on the table, signed, sealed, but it meant nothing now. Because peace built on lies breaks before it begins. Jiho picked it up, held it for a moment, then dropped it into a small bin marked recycle. He turned to the door. Take them to holding, he said, nodding at the Vraken. Doyun's Marines moved in. Forthax didn't fight, didn't speak. As they led him away, Jiho looked out the window again. At Earth. Safe. For now. He touched his earpiece. Phase 1 complete, he said softly. Move to Phase 2. Far away on Mars, Sora smiled and pressed another button. The real war was just beginning. But this time, humanity would write the rules. The galaxy thought humans were soft, that they forgave too easy, that they trusted too fast. They were wrong. Humans remember. Humans prepare. And when the enemy smiles with teeth hidden, humans smile back, with a knife already in hand. The peace treaty was a trap, but humanity? Humanity came prepared anyway. Under the city of Seoul, deep below the streets and subways and shopping malls, there was a door. Not a big door, not a fancy one, just gray metal. No sign, no handle, only a small black scanner beside it. If you didn't know it was there, you'd walk right past it. But Mina knew. She stood in front of it now, tired but awake. Her eyes were red from no sleep. Her hair was messy. She wore the same black jacket she'd worn for 3 days. In her hand, a small silver keycard. Not plastic. Not digital. Real metal. Old style. Hard to copy. She held it up to the scanner. A soft beep. The door slid open. Cold air rushed out. Smelled like metal and coffee and wires. Inside the room was huge. Bigger than a football field. Bright lights. Rows and rows of desks. Screens everywhere. People in simple uniforms. Blue shirts, black pants. Typing fast, talking quiet, moving like ants in a hill. No music, no laughter. Just the hum of machines and the click of keys. This was Earth Defense Command Bunker, Level 7. The brain behind Earth's war plan. The place where peace was never trusted. Where every handshake was studied. Every treaty tested. Every enemy expected, and at the center of it all, Taehyuk. He sat at the main desk. Not because he was the boss. He wasn't. He was just the best, young, maybe 26. Hair messy like he forgot to brush it. Wore glasses that kept sliding down his nose. His fingers flew across 3 keyboards at once. Screens in front of him showed ship engines, shield patterns, gravity fields, things most people couldn't understand. But Taehyuk did. He didn't go to big schools. Didn't wear medals. Didn't give speeches. He just fixed things, made them better, faster, smarter. 3 years ago, after the Battle of Titan, when Earth barely survived, Taehyuk had an idea. What if, he said, our ships could disappear, not just hide, but really vanish, like ghosts. Everyone laughed. Then he built it. Now every human warship had his phase drive hidden inside. Looked like normal engine parts. Even scanners couldn't tell the difference. But when turned on, the ship blinked out. Not cloaked, not shielded, gone for 3 minutes, then back, like nothing happened. Perfect for ambushes, perfect for traps, perfect for today. Mina walked over, didn't say hi, just dropped a tablet on his desk. Taehyuk glanced at it, then kept typing. You saw it? She asked. He nodded. The handshake, the flicker, the gong, all of it. You knew it would happen? He stopped typing. Looked up, smiled a little. I hoped. Mina sat down. Rubbed her eyes. They're moving. Fleet, still hiding behind the moon. But their weapons are warming up. They think we're sitting ducks. Taehyuk pushed his glasses up. Good. Let them think that. He turned one of his screens toward her. Showed a map of the solar system. Dots floating near Mars, near Jupiter. Near Pluto, see those? He said. Our ships, all powered down for treaty check. All following the rules, Mina squinted. But they're not really off, are they? Taehyuk grinned. Nope, phase drives are on standby. Shields are folded into engine heat. Weapons locked but ready. One signal. From you, from Jiho, from Sora. And they wake up. Fast. Mina leaned back. And the Vraken ships? Taehyuk tapped a key. The screen changed. Showed the Vraken dreadnoughts, big, ugly. Covered in spikes and guns. Their shields run on harmonic frequency 7G, he said. Sora already sent the pulse. It's sitting inside their systems like a sleeping bug. When we say go, it wakes up. Their shields drop. Their guns freeze. Their engines cough. Mina smiled for the first time in days. You're scary when you plan. Taehyuk shrugged. I just like making things work. Across the room, near the back wall, sat Sora. She didn't have 10 screens. Didn't need them. She had one. Small, dark, and a pair of headphones. That's all. But what she did with them? Terrifying. Sora used to be a hacker. Not the bad kind. The really good kind. The kind who could slip into a bank system and change the coffee machine to play lullabies. The kind who once shut down a whole spaceport by hacking the bathroom lights now. She hacked wars, she didn't carry guns. Didn't wear armor. Didn't shout orders, she just typed. Quietly, carefully. Deadly. On her screen, lines of code scrolled up. Fast. Too fast for normal eyes. But Sora didn't read them. She felt them. Like music. Like breathing. She was inside the Vraken network, not breaking in. She was already in. Had been for weeks. The treaty? It wasn't just paper. It was digital. Thousands of pages. Millions of words. Hidden inside? Sora's gifts. Little programs. Tiny. Silent. Sleeping. One made their comms delay by 0.3 seconds. Just enough to mess up battle timing. Another faked engine readings. Made their ships look slower than they were. A third waited for a single word. Glass. As in glass earth. When that word was sent, Sora's program answered with lies. Confirmed. Firing in 60 seconds, but no firing happened. Instead, the Vraken ships waited. Counted down. Got confused. And while they were confused, human ships moved. Admiral Yejin stood on the command deck of the UNS Dauntless. The biggest human warship, shaped like a spear. Smooth, silent. Floating near the moon. She wore a simple black uniform. No decorations. Just a small badge. A crane with wings spread. She stared out the window. At the Vraken ships, so close, so unaware. Her officer, a tall man named Quan, stood beside her. They still think we're asleep, he said. Yejin nodded. Good. She turned to her crew. All ships report in. Phase drives ready? A young woman at the comm station, Hana, nodded. All green, Admiral. Taehyuk's systems are live. No errors, Yejin smiled. Tell them to hold. Wait for the signal. She walked to her chair, sat down. Crossed her legs, Sora, she said into her mic. You there? A soft voice answered. Always. How's our friends? Still counting down to 0, Sora said. They don't know 0 won't come. Yejin leaned back. Wake them up when I say. Back in the bunker, Mina got a message. She read it. Then showed Taehyuk. He whistled. They're starting the glass protocol. For real. Mina nodded. Vorthax must have given the order from the station. He thinks we captured him by accident. That we got lucky. Taehyuk cracked his knuckles. Let's show him what luck looks like. He pressed a red button. Not big, not flashy. Just red. On every human ship, a small light turned green. Phase drives. Online. Shields. Hidden mode. Weapons. Silent ready. Sora typed one word. Now, in space. The Vraken flagship Worldbreaker glowed red. Its captain, Gorvax, stood tall. Arms crossed. Watching the countdown. 10, 9, 8. He smiled under his mask. Earth would burn. The humans would scream. The war would end in fire. 3, 2, 1. Silence, no flash, no boom. No death from above, Gorvax frowned. Why didn't we fire? His officer checked his screen. Systems say, we did, that's impossible. Then alarms, red lights, loud beeps. Screams from the crew, sir, shields are down. Engines not responding. Comms are jammed. Gorvax turned to the window and froze because outside, human ships were gone, not destroyed, gone, then, behind them. One by one, human warships blinked into view. Right behind the Vraken fleet. Close, too close. The UNS Dauntless appeared 10 kilometers from Worldbreaker's rear shield. Admiral Yejin's voice crackled over every Vraken speaker. Surprise, on Earth in the bunker. Everyone held their breath. Taehyuk watched his screens. EMP burst in 3. Zwei Grinan. He pressed a key. In space, Admiral Yejin gave the order. Send it. A silent wave rolled out from every human ship. No light, no sound. Just energy. Tuned to Vraken tech. Like a key made just for their locks. Every Vraken ship shuddered. Lights died. Guns powered down. Engines sputtered. The Worldbreaker's captain screamed, "What is this?" His officer whispered, It's like they knew our systems better than we do." Sora leaned back in her chair, smiled. She opened a new window, started typing again, this time, not to break, to broadcast. She took the recording Mina made, Vorthax's own voice, planning to burn Earth. She wrapped it in a song, Arirang, an old Korean song, sad, beautiful, simple. Then she sent it, not to one planet, to all of them, every neutral world, every trading station, every alien news channel. The message didn't say help us, it said, look what they plan to do. In the bunker, Mina watched the galaxy's reaction. First, silence, then messages from the Krill. We are moving our fleet away from the Vraken, from the Ondari. We refuse to follow Vraken orders anymore, from the Helix Guild. We are cutting all trade with the Dominion. Mina turned to Jiho, who had just walked in. They're turning on them, she said. Jiho nodded. Good. Let the galaxy see who they really are. Taehyuk stood up, stretched. Phase 2 is running. Phase 3 is loaded. You want me to start it? Mina shook her head. Not yet. Let them sweat. Let them panic. Let them realize. They're not the hunters anymore. She walked to the big screen, showed Earth safe, still blue, still beautiful. We didn't start this, she said, but we'll end it. Taehyuk put his hands in his pockets. And when it's over? Mina looked at him. Then we build something better. Far away past Pluto in the cold dark, 6 massive ships floated. No lights. No signals. No names, just code G1 through G6. Project Goliath. Each one carried a single weapon. Not a laser, not a bomb, a rod. Made of tungsten. 10 meters long. Dropped from orbit, called a rods from God by old Earth soldiers. One hit could crack a continent. Colonel Hyunwoo sat in the command chair of G1, silent, calm, waiting. He didn't need orders yet. He didn't need speeches. He just needed a target. Back in the bunker, the team got ready for the next move. Taehyuk fixed a glitch in the phase drive sync. Sora prepared the next virus. This one would lock Vraken ships in place. Mina plan. The gong still rang in their ears. That deep, heavy sound it meant to mark peace now felt like a joke. A cruel one, the kind you don't laugh at. The kind that makes your stomach drop. Inside the main hall of Helios Prime Station, the air smelled like ozone and sweat. The lights were still blue. The gravity still a little off. People stood frozen, diplomats, reporters, alien guests, all watching, all silent, all afraid to move. At the center of it all, Ambassador Jiho didn't move either. He just watched. Watched as Vorthax, High Overseer of the Vraken Dominion, stood with his hands clenched. Watched as his 6 bodyguards, tall, armored, silent, stood near the walls, fingers twitching toward hidden weapons. Watched as Captain Dohyun and his Marines kept their pulse rifles raised, calm, steady, not blinking. No one fired. Not yet. But everyone knew. It could happen any second. Then, a soft click. It came from Mina's wristband. She didn't look down. Didn't flinch. Just gave the tiniest nod to Jiho. He understood. Phase 2 had begun. The first thing that broke was the lights. Not all of them. Just the ones above the Vraken guards. They flickered once, twice, and then went dark. Shadows swallowed the guards. Before they could react, the floor under them moved. Not much. Just a few inches. Like a rug pulled fast. 2 guards stumbled. One fell. That's when the panels opened. Not the ones the Vraken had hidden soldiers behind. New ones. Human ones. From the ceiling. From the floor. From behind fake vents, 12 Marines dropped down, silent, fast, like shadows with guns. They didn't shout. Didn't warn. They just fired. Thwip, thwip, thwip pulse rounds. Small, blue, harmless looking. It's hit each Vraken guard in the chest, neck, or back. One by one they dropped. Not dead. Just out like sleep hit them with a hammer. Captain Dohyun lowered his weapon. Looked at Vorthax. Next time, he said, bring better hiding spots. Vorthax didn't answer. His mask hid his face, but his body shook. Not with fear. With rage. You think this is victory? He growled. My fleet will burn your world. Your people will scream. Your cities will turn to ash. Jiho stepped forward. Calm. Quiet. Your fleet, he said, is having problems. Outside in space, the Vrakan dreadnoughts floated near the moon. Big, mean, covered in guns and spikes. Inside the lead ship. Worldbreaker, Captain Gorvak screamed at his crew. Why aren't we firing? His officer, pale and sweating, pointed at the main screen. Sir, our weapons. They're locked. Our shields gone. Our engines barely working. Gorvak slammed his fist on the console. Who did this? No one answered because they didn't. No, they didn't know about Sora. They didn't know about Tehuk. They didn't know humans had been inside their systems for weeks. They thought they were the hunters. They were wrong. Back on the station, the guests started to panic. A green-skinned diplomat from Krill ran for the door. A camera drone zipped toward the exit. A child, small, wide-eyed, started to cry. Mina raised her voice. Everyone, please stay calm. You are not in danger. Only the Vrakan are. She tapped her wristband again. Soft music started to play. Arirang, the old Korean song, gentle, sad, beautiful. The crying child stopped. Looked up. The running diplomat slowed. The camera drone hovered. Then turned back. Mina walked to the center of the room. Held up her tablet. Before you leave, she said. Watch this. She pressed play. On every screen in the hall, even the ones built into the walls, Vorthax's face appeared. His own voice filled the room. Once they sign, we take the station. Kill the leaders. Then burn their cities. Let the humans learn what true power is. Silence. Then, gasps, then, angry whispers. A Krill diplomat stepped forward. You recorded this? During the peace talks? Mina nodded. While they smiled, we listened. The Krill turned to Vorthax. You lied to us all. Vorthax didn't answer. He just stood there, trapped, exposed. Captain Dohyun walked over to him, held out a pair of silver cuffs. Hands behind your back, he said. Vorthax didn't move. Dohyun sighed, nodded to his Marines. Two of them stepped forward, grabbed Vorthax's arms, twisted them gently but firmly behind his back. Snapped the cuffs on. Vorthax didn't fight, didn't speak, he just let it happen. As they led him away, Jiho watched. No smile, no gloating, just quiet. Because this wasn't victory. This was survival. In the control room of Helios Prime, Sora sat alone. She wore headphones. Her fingers danced across her keyboard. On her screen, live feeds from every camera on the station. Every comms channel. Every door sensor. She watched as Vorthax was taken to holding cell 3. She watched as diplomats argued, pointed, filmed. She watched as Mina calmed the crowd, answered questions, stayed cool. Then, she saw something, a small red dot, blinking. On camera 14B near the east airlock. Sora zoomed in. A Vrakan soldier, not one of the guards, smaller, faster, wearing maintenance coveralls, sneaking toward the door. He held something in his hand, a black box. With wires, Sora's eyes narrowed. She typed fast, opened a channel, Dohyun, East Corridor. Airlock 3-1 Vrakan. He's got a bomb. Captain Dohyun heard the voice in his ear. He didn't shout, didn't run, he just turned. Nodded to two Marines. They moved quiet, fast, like ghosts. The Vrakan soldier reached the airlock, looked left, looked right, no one. He placed the black box on the wall, pressed a button, a green light blinked, he turned to leave, and walked right into a pulse rifle. Freeze, said a Marine. The Vrakan raised his hands, didn't speak. The Marine tapped his ear. Got him. Bomb's live. Dohyun walked over. Looked at the box. Can we move it? The Marine shook his head. Too risky. Timer's already running. Dohyun looked at Sora's feed on his wrist screen. Sora? Can you stop it? Her voice came back fast. Maybe. Give me 60 seconds. Dohyun nodded. You got 30. Sora's fingers flew. She didn't try to disarm the bomb. She hacked the airlock, found the control code, rewrote it. Then, she opened the outer door. Not all the way, just a crack. A hiss filled the corridor. Air rushed out. The bomb, still stuck to the wall, but now, in vacuum, no oxygen, no boom, just silence. Sora smiled. Bomb's dead, she said. Do-hyun let out a breath. Nice work. Back in the main hall, Mina stood on a small platform. She held a microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, she said, what you saw today was not an attack. It was a reveal. The Vraken came here to lie, to kill, to destroy. We came here to stop them, she paused. We did not want this. We offered peace. Real peace. They chose war. So we chose to be ready. A reporter from Helix News raised her hand. What happens now? Will Earth attack the Vraken homeworld? Mina shook her head. We are not monsters. We do not burn worlds. We defend ours, and we protect those who stand with us. She looked at the Krill diplomat, then the Andari, then the others. You saw what they planned to do. You saw what we did to stop them. Now you choose. Stand with truth or stand with lies? Silence, then. The Krill diplomat stepped forward. We stand with Earth. One by one, others joined. Not all, but enough. In the bunker under Seoul, Taehyuk watched the broadcast. He grinned. They're turning, just like we hoped. He turned to his screen, pulled up the fleet map. Human ships, still hidden behind Vraken lines. Vraken ships, still broken, blind, confused. He typed a message to Admiral Yejin. Ready when you are. Her reply came fast. Hold, let them sweat a little longer. Taehyuk laughed. She's evil. On the UNS Dauntless, Admiral Yejin sat in her chair. She watched the Vraken fleet on her screen. They were trying to fix their ships, trying to reboot, trying to call for help, failing. She sipped her coffee. Cold now, didn't care, Hana, she said. How's the pulse holding? Her comms officer nodded. Strong, Admiral. Their systems are still down. No weapons, no shields, no escape, Yejin smiled. Good, let them feel what it's like to be helpless. Back on the station, Jiho walked to the window, looked down at Earth. Still blue, still whole, still safe. Mina joined him. We did it, she said. Jiho shook his head. No, we survived. That's all. He turned to her. They'll come back stronger, angrier. They'll bring everything. Mina nodded. Then we'll be ready. She tapped her wristband. Opened a new channel, Sora. Start phase 3. In her dark corner, Sora cracked her knuckles, opened. A new file titled Project Truth. She started typing. Not code this time. Words, stories, videos, photos of Vraken war crimes of burnt villages, of stolen children, of lies told to the galaxy. She wrapped each one in Ari rang and sent them to every planet, every station, every screen, every heart. Colonel Hyunwoo, far out in the Kuiper Belt. Got the message, he read it, then stood up. Walked to the window of his ship. Looked at the black sky. Phase 3, he whispered. Time to remind them. We don't forget. He pressed a button. On all 6 Goliath ships, engines hummed to life, slow, quiet, deadly. Back on Earth, in a small apartment in Busan, a little girl named Unji sat on her bed. She watched the news, saw the video of Vorthax, saw the humans stop the attack, saw the galaxy start to turn. She didn't cry, she didn't hide. She smiled and whispered to her stuffed bear, don't worry. The grown-ups are awake now. In the bunker, Taehyuk yawned, stood up, stretched, walked to the coffee machine, poured a cup, looked at Mina. What's next? She smiled. We wait. Let the galaxy get angry. Let the Vraken panic, then we hit them where it hurts. Taehyuk sipped his coffee. Their homeworld? Mina nodded. Not to burn it. To break it. To show them Earth doesn't start wars. But we finish them. The first strike had failed. The trap had backfired. The galaxy was watching. And humanity. Humanity was just getting started. Document Part 4, The Fleet That Wasn't Supposed to Move. Son 400 words. Third person. Simple and basic English. Space was quiet. Too quiet. Around the moon, the Vraken fleet floated like broken toys. Big ships. Ugly ships. Ships built to crush planets and scare children. But now, their lights were dim. Their guns were cold. Their engines made sad sputtering sounds, like old cars that forgot how to start. Inside the lead ship, Worldbreaker, Captain Gorvak slammed his fist on the control panel again. Why won't it work? His crew didn't answer. They were too busy panicking. One officer shouted, shields still offline. Another yelled, comms are jammed, we can't call home. A third whispered, sir, the humans. They're behind us. Gorvax turned slowly, looked out the front window and saw them. Human ships, not in front, not to the side, behind dozens of them. Maybe hundreds, silent, dark, no running lights, no engine flares. Just there, like ghosts that learned how to fly. How? Gorvax growled. They were supposed to be powered down. The treaty said. He stopped because he remembered. The treaty was a lie. Their lie. And the humans? They knew. On the bridge of the UNS Dauntless, Admiral Yejin sat in her chair. Calm. Still. One leg crossed over the other. A cup of tea in her hand. Steam rising. Smell of ginger and mint. She watched the Vraken ships on her screen. Watched them spin in slow circles. Watched them try to run. Try to fight. Try to scream for help. None of it worked, because Sora had locked their systems, because Taehyuk had hidden their own weapons from them, because humanity had planned for this moment. For years. Hana, her comms officer, turned in her seat. Admiral, all ships report ready. Phase drives holding. Weapons charged. Shields folded. Yejin nodded. Good. Tell them to hold position. No firing, not yet, Hana blinked. Not yet, but... They're helpless, Yejin sipped her tea. Exactly. Let them feel it. Let them know what it's like. To be the weak ones, she set her cup down, stood up, walked to the window, looked at the Fracken fleet. They thought war was about big guns and loud ships, she said. They forgot. War is about brains, and we've got more of those. Back on Earth, in the bunker under Seoul, Taehyuk sneezed. Bless you, Mina said without looking up. Thanks, he mumbled, rubbing his nose. Stupid space dust in the air filters. He stared at his screens. Rows of green lights. All human ships online. All systems working. All Vraken ships and broken, he grinned. They still don't get it. They think this is luck. That we got one good shot. Mina finally looked up. Let them think that. Makes them easier to break, she walked over. Pointed at one of his screens. What's that red dot near Jupiter? Taehyuk zoomed in. Oh, that's Goliath Group, Hyunwoo's team. They just woke up. Mina raised an eyebrow. Already? Taehyuk shrugged. Colonel doesn't like to wait. Says surprise works better when it's early. Mina smiled. Tell him to hold. We're not ready for Phase 4 yet. Taehyuk typed a quick message, sent it, then leaned back. You know, we could end this today. Just give the order. Let the fleet fire. Boom, no more Vraken. Mina shook her head. No, we don't kill helpless enemies. That's their way, not ours. She walked to the big window screen. Showed Earth still safe, still spinning, still full of kids going to school and cats sleeping in sunbeams. We fight to protect that, she said, not to become monsters. Taehyuk nodded. Yeah, I know, just sometimes I want to press the big red button. Mina patted his shoulder. Save it for when they deserve it. In space, Captain Dohyun stood on the observation deck of Helios Prime. He wore his marine armor now. Helmet off, face tired, eyes sharp. He watched the Vraken fleet through the thick glass, watched them drift, watched them fail, watched them panic. Sora's voice came through his earpiece. Do-hyun, you seeing this? He grunted. Yep, they're sending a distress call. Trying to reach Vraken High Command. Do-hyun smirked. Let them. No one's gonna answer, Sora laughed. Already made sure of that. Their signal's going in circles, like a dog chasing its tail. Do-hyun looked down at Earth. So close, so blue. You think they'll surrender? He asked. Sora was quiet for a moment. Then no, they're too proud, too angry. They'll try something stupid. Do-hyun sighed. Great, I hate stupid. On the World Breaker, Captain Gorvax made a decision. He turned to his crew. Power down everything. His officers stared. Sir, everything? Gorvax nodded. Yes, all weapons. All shields. All engines. Even life support. Switch to backups. One officer stepped forward. But Mo, that'll leave us floating, defenseless. Gorvax smiled. A cold, sharp smile, exactly. The humans won't fire on a helpless ship. They're too soft, too moral. He walked to his chair, sat down, crossed his arms, let them come closer. Let them think they won, then we hit them with the Black Pulse, the crew gasped. The Black Pulse was forbidden, a weapon that didn't kill people. It killed machines. One blast and then every ship nearby would go dark. Forever. It was a suicide move. Because it would fry their own ship too. But Gorvax didn't care. Better to die with honor, he said, than live as a prisoner of humans. Sora saw it. On her screen, the Vraken ship started shutting down. Lights off. Engines silent. Weapons cold, she frowned. That's weird, she typed fast. Pulled up energy readings. Life support logs. Comms history, then she saw it, a tiny signal, buried deep, almost invisible. Going to a hidden device inside the world breaker, she zoomed in. Her eyes widened. Oh no. She opened a channel. Fast. Yejin. Taehyuk, Mina. Listen. In the bunker, Mina ran to Sora's station. What is it? Sora didn't look up. They're faking. Shutting down on purpose. Hiding a weapon. Black pulse. If they fire it. Taehyuk jumped up. Every ship nearby dies, including ours. Mina's face went pale. How long? Sora checked. 3 minutes. Maybe less. Mina turned. Shouted across the room. Jiho, we have a problem. On the Dauntless, Admiral Yejin heard Sora's warning. She didn't panic, didn't yell, just stood up. Straightened her uniform. Hana. Signal all ships. Pull back now, full retreat. Hana's fingers flew. Signal sent. Yejin turned to her weapons officer. Lock target, world breaker, main reactor. The officer blinked. But they're defenseless, Admiral. Yejin's voice was ice. They're lying. And they're about to kill us all. Fire when ready. Back in the bunker, Taehyuk typed like a storm. He opened a back door in the Vraken ship's system. One he'd left there. Just in case. Found the black pulse device. Tried to shut it down. Failed. Tried to delay it. Failed. He cursed. It's locked. Triple encryption. I need time. Mina grabbed his shoulder. You don't have time. Sora suddenly shouted, Wait, I've got an idea. She opened a new window. Started typing fast. What are you doing? Mina asked. Sora didn't answer. Just kept typing. Then she hit enter. On the world breaker, Captain Gorvax smiled. The black pulse was armed, charging. 10 seconds to fire. He closed his eyes. Ready to die a hero then? His chair moved, not much, just tilted. He opened his eyes. The lights came back on. Not his lights. Human lights. Red flashing loud. A voice boomed through the ship. This is Earthfleet. You are under remote control. Do not move. Do not speak. Do not breathe wrong. Gorvax stood up. What? How? His console screens changed. Showed human symbols. Showed Taehyuk's face. Smiling. Hi, Captain. Taehyuk's voice said. We're driving now. Sora had done it. She didn't shut down the black pulse. She took over the world breaker. Used a hidden maintenance port. One the Vraken didn't even know about. One Taehyuk had slipped in during peace talks. Now, the ship was hers. She turned off the black pulse. Turned on the engines. Turned the ship. Around, pointed its nose. At the other Vraken ships, Admiral Yejin saw it. The world breaker moved not away toward its own fleet. She smiled. Hana. Tell all ships. Hold fire, we've got a new weapon. Captain Gorvax screamed at his crew. Shut it down. Shut it all down. But no one could. The doors locked, the weapons locked, the chairs locked too. They were prisoners. In their own ship. Gorvax fell to his knees. Watched as his ship floated toward his own people. Watched as human ships moved aside. Watched as the galaxy watched. And laughed. On Helios Prime, Captain Dohyun watched the show. Sora's voice came through. You seeing this? Dohyun grinned. Yep, that's our girl. He turned to the diplomats watching with him. See, we don't need to destroy them. We just need to borrow their toys, the Krill diplomat clapped. Brilliant. In the bunker, Taehyuk finally stopped typing, leaned back. Let out a long breath. Done. Mina hugged him. You're a genius, he blushed. Nah, just lucky. Sora rolled her eyes. You're not lucky. You're scary. Jiho walked over, looked at the screen. At the world breaker now floating like a guard dog in front of the human fleet. Well, he said, that's one way to turn the tide. Admiral Yejin stood on her bridge, watched the Vraken ships try to run, try to hide, try to beg. None of it worked. She opened a channel. Her voice calm, clear, cold. To all Vraken ships, you have one choice. Power down, surrender, or we let the world breaker fire on you. Your own flagship, your own captain, your own rules. Silence then. One by one, Vraken ships powered down, lights off, engines off, guns off. They surrendered. Not to force, not to fear, but to shame. Back on Earth, in the bunker, the team watched. No cheers, no dancing, just quiet. Because they knew. This wasn't the end. The Vraken, High Command would hear. They would get angry, they would send more, bigger, meaner, deadlier, but for now, for this moment, humanity had won, not with fire, not with rage, but with brains, with planning, with patience. Colonel Hyunwoo, far out near Pluto, got the message. He read it, then smiled. Phase 4, he whispered. Time to visit T. Document Part 5. The message sent in silence, 400 words, third person, simple and basic English. The war was loud, big ships, bright explosions, screaming comms, angry voices. But the thing that broke the Vraken was quiet. So quiet most people didn't even notice it at first. It started with a song, just a simple tune, old, soft, no drums. No shouting, just a woman's voice, clear and sad, singing words about hills and rivers and lost love. Ari rang. That's all it was. But wrapped inside that song, the truth. Sora sat alone in her corner of the bunker, headphones on. Screen dark except for one small window. Her fingers move slow now, not typing code, not hacking ships, just choosing. She picked the next video. It showed a Vraken officer, laughing, standing over a pile of broken toys. Kids' toys, stuffed bears, plastic cars, tiny shoes. His voice, burn the village. Leave nothing. Not even their memories. Sora didn't flinch. She wrapped it in Arirang, pressed send. It went out. Not to one place. Not to 10. To everywhere, every news station, every public screen, every school, every bar, every bedroom with a window to the stars. She didn't shout. She didn't beg. She just showed them. On the farming moon of Krill 7, a family sat down to dinner. 3 kids, 2 parents, bowls of warm soup, soft light from the window. Then, the screen on the wall turned on. No one touched it. The song started. The kids stopped eating. The parents stood up. They watched the video. Watched the Vraken officer laugh. Watched the fire swallow. Holmes watched a child cry. Real footage, as soldiers dragged her parents away. The mother covered her mouth. The father turned off the screen, but the song kept playing. In their heads, in their hearts. They didn't speak that night. They didn't sleep. By morning, the father had signed up to join the Krill Defense Fleet. The mother started a protest group. The kids drew pictures of Earth and wrote thank you in big letters. In the trading city of Ondar Prime, a busy marketplace buzzed with life. Aliens of 10 different species haggled over spices, engines, and silk. Then, every screen in the square turned on. Same song, same video, same truth. A fat merchant dropped his bag of coins. A child pointed. Mom, who are those monsters? A soldier off duty took off his hat, stood at attention. No one shouted, no one ran. They just watched and remembered. Remembered the Vraken peacekeepers who took their food. Remembered the Vraken inspectors who stole their ships. Remembered the lies. By sunset, the city council voted. Ondar Prime cut all ties with the Vraken Dominion. Ships turned away. Gates closed. Signs went up. No Vraken allowed. Back in the bunker, Mina watched the reports come in. Krill fleet, moving toward human lines. Not to fight. To help. Ondari Trade Guild, freezing all Vraken accounts. Helix News, running nonstop coverage. The truth behind the treaty. She turned to Sora. You're breaking them. Without firing a shot, Sora didn't smile. Good. They broke enough of us. She opened another file. This one showed Vorthax, not on the station but in an old recording. Standing in front of a school. Human school. Playground in the background, his voice. These children are weak, soft. They will make good slaves. Or good targets. Sora wrapped it in Arirang, sent it on the Vraken homeworld in the capital city of Zarthul. The High Command sat in their war room, big table. Black chairs. Red lights. They watched their fleet surrender near the moon. They heard Gorvax beg for mercy. They saw their own flagship turn against them. Then, the screens around them turned on. The song played. The videos rolled. Their own voices. Their own crimes. Their own shame. One general stood up. Shut it off. No one could. The systems were locked. The song kept playing. A young officer started to cry. An old admiral dropped his head into his hands. High Commander Dravok, the tallest,
Angriest Vraken alive, Reen roared and smashed his fist into the table. Who did this?
no one answered, because they knew. Humans. Quiet. Clever. Cruel humans. In the streets of Zarthul, regular Vraken citizens watched too. They gathered around public screens, they heard the song, they saw the truth. Many didn't believe it at first. This is fake, one shouted. This is human trick, another yelled. But then, they saw more. Videos from their own soldiers, their own cameras, their own words. A mother hugged her child tighter. A worker put down his tools. A student closed his book and whispered, "Is this who we are?" Sora didn't stop. She sent more. A video of a Vraken ship bombing a hospital, then playing victory music. A recording of Vorthak saying, "Peace is for the weak, war's for the strong." A clip of a little human girl hiding under a table whispering, "Please don't hurt my mom." Each one wrapped in Arirang. Each one sent to a new world, each one breaking something. Not ships, not cities. Trust. Captain Dohyun stood on Helios Prime, watching a screen in the mess hall. A group of alien diplomats sat around him. All silent. All watching. The video ended. The song faded. No one spoke. Then, the Krill ambassador stood up. She walked to Dohyun, held out her hand. "We were wrong," she said. "We thought humans were naive, soft, easy to fool." Dohyun shook her hand. "And now?" She smiled. "Now we know you fight with more than guns. You fight with truth, and that is more powerful." On the UNS Dauntless, Admiral Yejin got a message. She read it, then read it again. Looked up. "Hana, patch me through to all Allied ships." Hana nodded. "Channel open." Yejin took a breath. "To all fleets now standing with Earth, thank you. You didn't have to join us. But you did. Not because we asked, but because you saw. You heard. You chose what's right." She paused. The Vraken thought they could hide behind lies. They were wrong. Truth doesn't need weapons. It just needs to be heard. She sat back, silence. Then, cheers. From Krill ships, from Ondari cruisers, from Helix traders with guns bolted to their hulls. Allies. Not by treaty, by choice. In the bunker, Taehyuk watched the galaxy turn. He didn't say much, just handed Mina a fresh cup of coffee. She took it. "Thanks," he pointed at the screen. "They're really doing it." Leaving the Vraken. "Joining us," Mina nodded. "Sora's doing." Taehyuk looked at Sora, still typing. Still sending, still quiet. "She's not just winning the war," he said. "She's rewriting the galaxy." Jiho walked in. Looked tired. But calm. He watched the screens, saw the protests, the fleet movements, the videos spreading like fire. He walked to Sora. Put a hand on her shoulder. "You're hurting them," he said. She didn't look up. "Good," he smiled. "Just don't lose yourself in it." She finally looked at him. Eyes tired, but sharp. "I won't. I'm not doing this to be cruel. I'm doing it so no more kids have to hide under tables." Jiho nodded. "Then keep going." On the streets of Seoul, people gathered in parks and plazas. Big screens showed the videos. The song played. Parents held their children. Students recorded the footage. Old soldiers stood at attention. No one cried, no one screamed. They just watched and remembered. Remembered the bombs. Remembered the fear. Remembered the lies. And now they saw justice. Quiet. Simple. Strong. Colonel Hyunwoo, far out in the dark near Pluto, got the update. He read the reports, watched a video of a Krill child holding a sign, "Earth Cars Heroes." He smiled, opened a channel to his crew. Phase 4 is green. Set course for Zarthul, maximum stealth. No signals. No chatter. His crew didn't cheer, they just nodded, strapped in, prepared, because they weren't going to burn a world. They were going to break a lie. Back in the bunker, Sora sent one last video. This one showed Ambassador Jiho, standing on Helios Prime right after the trap failed. His voice, calm and clear. "We offered peace. You chose war. Now the galaxy sees your face, and they will never forget. She wrapped it in arirang, sent it. Then, she leaned back, took off her headphones, closed her eyes for the first time in days. She rested. Mina walked over, sat beside her. You did it, Sora shook her head. Not yet. They'll fight back. They'll lie more. They'll scream that it's all fake. Mina smiled. Doesn't matter. The seed is planted. The galaxy believes us now. On the Vraken homeworld, High Commander Dravok ordered every screen destroyed, every speaker smashed, every device burned. But it was too late. The song was in their heads. The truth was in their hearts. And in the barracks, young soldiers whispered to each other, maybe the humans are right. Maybe we were the monsters. In a small village on Mars, a teacher played the song for her class. The kids listened. Then one little boy raised his hand. Teacher, why were the Vraken so mean? The teacher thought for a moment. Because they were afraid. Afraid of peace. Afraid of truth. Afraid of humans who smile. But never forget, the boy nodded. I'm glad we won. The teacher smiled. We didn't win yet. But we're winning. The right way. Sora opened her eyes, looked at Mina. What's next? Mina stood up. Phase 5, we hit them where it hurts. Not their ships. Not their cities. Sora raised an eyebrow. Their pride? Mina shook her head. Their silence. We make sure the whole galaxy hears. What happens next? Far away, the 6 Goliath ships moved closer to the Vraken homeworld. No one saw them. No one heard them. They were ghosts. But soon, they would speak, and when they did, the galaxy would listen. Back on Earth, a little girl named Sujin sat by her window. She hummed Arirang. Her mom came in. Where did you learn that, sweetheart? Sujin smiled. From the stars, Mom. The stars taught me. Her mom kissed her forehead and whispered, Good, never forget it. The message was sent, not with fire, not with force, but with silence, and a song, and the truth, and that was more powerful than any weapon.